stack of business cards. Mr. Johnson, is your hand raised? On purpose?
No, sir, I was just raising my hand, agreeing to a question you had.
Oh, no worries. Love it, love it. All right, who else? What impacted you most, or a question that you want me to dig deeper into?
Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Can you go over that, what you said to Susan about the business card? We either met out networking or something. Can you say that?
The language?
Yes.
Yes. I said someone either gave me your card. We either met networking or someone gave me your card. We either met networking or someone gave me your card. We either met networking or someone gave me your card. So simple, nothing weird about that, right?
And what was the ending of that? You asked when the
basically, are you open to networking and seeing how we can refer business to each other?
All right, that refer business. That's all right. All right, appreciate you.
Are you open to networking and seeing how we can refer business to each other? Absolutely. And then I put my name, and a little bit about what I do. So simple, right? But big things come in simple processes, big results from simple things, and super duplicatable as well. I taught it to some of my team members. They immediately sent out text messages right there on the spot. Robin?
Just a quick question. When you said you put a little bit about what you do, could you give us an example of that?
So sometimes I'll put coach, Coach Farbell, and I'll put my coaching website, BornCEO.com. So sometimes I'll lead with my passion. My passion is coaching. Sometimes I'll lead with my company, what my product is. And so just put your, but I put connector in there. Coach Farbell, connector, coach, and broker, or whatever the title is that you choose to use for that. But that part isn't important. It's the part about what's in it for them. Are you open to networking and seeing how we can refer business to each other? I'm trying to answer your question without talking about my product or company specifically. But but that part, the title doesn't matter. In fact, sometimes it's better to not even put a title, because I want to engage the person. We can talk about what I do when we actually start networking. The real question is, are you open to networking and seeing how we can refer business to each other? And I'm glad you asked that question. Too many people, from my opinion, are trying to figure out what to say about themselves and what we do. But nobody's making a decision to buy or join because of your title, typically. Very rarely is somebody like, oh my gosh, I want that. It can happen, but that's not the real place that people make a decision. And I find that a lot of people are trying to say things that make people want to make a decision in the approach. But the purpose of the approach is not to get a decision or interest right away with the referral approach, that is. The purpose is to get an appointment so you all can get to know each other and see how to refer business to each other, or see how you can support each other's goals and dreams. That doesn't require them to know a title about you, to know what you do at all. It requires us to be focused on what is important to them, getting to know them, what their goals are, what their struggles are, who they need to be connected to. Because just like they know the people that can benefit from what I do, I know people that can benefit from what they do. Or I know people who can benefit from what they do. And when those come together, we all win. And that's the networker's mentality. Making sense? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Feel free to send me a direct message to get my language for this exclusive group. This is for this VIP group, not everybody outside of this, but feel free to send me a message on social media. All right, or reply to my email. Okay, who else?
Priscilla again, Priscilla White. And another thing that I got from the first session today was the clarity of building a franchise. And in my company, I've been involved in this company for 16 years. And so I've had a lot of great ideas, but I never had a blueprint of the ultimate goal of where I want to be with the top income earners for what I want to do in my life personally. And so today I realized that, like you said, get into a rhythm and having a system, which in my company, duplication, is part of that system. That was the rhythm that you were talking about for me, but it became so clear that if I was subscribed to the activity, the millionaire schedule, if I subscribe to that and do that and then keep going, I could create that within, my own personal business. My question was, so that I'm clear, are you teaching everybody that joins your business that, or you're trying to plug them into the rhythm and see who takes it serious and then you go further into coaching, or you basically just plugging individuals in and you teach the ones who are serious the millionaire schedule?
Good question. Excellent, excellent, excellent question. So 2 parts to that answer for you. The first part is when somebody gets started, we use the 4-question close. And it's so important to understand that a lot of people don't realize the 4-question close is not just a closing question to get someone started. It's an opening question to get someone started right. It's also the beginning of a person's game plan. When I recruit Priscilla and we ask her, what did you like best? And she says what she liked best. We ask on a scale of 1 to 10 where she is, and she says, you know what, I'm a 7 right now, but if I can get my questions answered, I'll be a 10. And we get her whatever she needs to answer a question and say, hey, where's your interest level now on a scale of 1 to 10? She says, I'm a 10, I'm ready. We say, perfect. If you were to get started on a part-time basis, how much income per month do you need coming in to make this worth your time? That's not just some random question. It's important to understand what this person is really looking for, to see if we can build a game plan around what they're looking for. So that game plan in the center of the recruiting cycle is all built around, what does this person really want? How many hours per week does she have? How many months is she willing to allow us to coach her until she gets there? And is this something we can build a game plan around, or something that we need to adjust? Do we need to adjust the amount of time, the amount of money if it's unrealistic, or is this something we can do? So she says, ultimately I want to get to 5,000 plus per month, but I only have about 10 hours a week right now. Will that work for me? Where the millionaire schedule comes in is the minute she tells me she's got 10 hours a week, 5 hours a week, 3 hours a week, I'm already thinking in my mind as the sponsor, what is the most important use of that 3 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours a week that she has based on the millionaire schedule? So when we do our game plan, we're literally going to set her schedule. So for example, the young lady that I texted from the business cards and recruited in the last day of the conference, the last day of the month last month, when she got started, she's a nurse and a single mom of 2. So she literally had only 3 hours per week. So we looked at her schedule. I said, okay, let's look at your calendar. When are you available? When do you have availability? When can you carve out for those 3 hours? We looked at where her time was. She had time between 7 a.m. and 9 o'clock before she dropped off her children at school. She had time after work at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock on 2 or 3 days a week. So literally, I'm now matching her schedule, her availability with the millionaire schedule. But what's most important in the beginning is the daily and weekly. The daily and weekly. And so if someone only has 3 hours a week, well, on a daily basis, the most important thing is the inviting, growing the list and inviting, right? So that's what we're doing. So sometimes people think they only have 3 hours a week open, but she also said, I can send text messages every day. In spite of the 3 hours I have structured that are available, I can send text messages every day. And I think after we looked at her calendar, she had more than 3 hours available. She said, you know what? I can go to the gym at a different time on these couple of days. So I plugged her into the weekly presentation, the weekly training, and her daily activity. And 3 hours a week can get that going. And we can scale that because Now she's got inviting time happening every day, or at least every week. And she knows where to invite them. We got a weekly presentation and a weekly training. And if she sticks to that 3 hours a week, we got new recruits coming in, and I can help take their schedule and do the same thing. They might have 5 hours a week. They might have 10 hours a week. And now we're scaling the millionaire schedule around those goals. Did that help, Priscilla? What'd you take away from that?
Yes, yes, it did. Because when you think about that, the way you just explained it, like if you listen for the amount of time that the individual has that they can commit to that. And then if you already have your rhythm and your method of operation, you already know what you're plugging into weekly, right? You know you're going to be adding to your list daily. Then you can find the time and you can help give people like a blueprint. Because people like me, that's what I need. I need to see an example or how it's done. And if you show me how it's done, then I can do it. You know,
I love it.
They help me.
I love it. And my favorite story on limited time is my friend Tilly's out of Richmond, Virginia. And she shared how on her job, she can't even have her cell phone in the building because of the security that she has or whatever those restrictions are. And so literally she couldn't work the business while she was at her job. She couldn't send text messages even. And then one day she realized that her coworkers were all going on a quick 10, 15-minute cigarette break every day. And she didn't smoke cigarettes, but she said, wait a minute, if they can take a cigarette break, I'm going to start going on a cigarette break when they go on a cigarette break. And so literally she started going on cigarette break, even though she didn't smoke, and she would get out 10, 15, 20 text messages every day. And that's how she went to the top position in her company, with slivers of time like that. And that's what I'm talking about. When you get that, when you understand the daily, it doesn't take, it's not an amount of time, it's the right amount of activity. And if somebody only has 10, 15 minutes a day and they send out a bunch of text messages because they plan that out, they plan out the list of who they're going to text in advance. They get those text messages out whenever they can, or whenever they have that 10, 15, 20-minute time slot. Doing that every day, they can have 3, 4, 5, 6 guests or more guests per week at the presentations. Even presentations they can't personally attend, they can still have guests at those presentations and keep track of who they invited so that we can help them follow up with those folks and lead them around the cycle with limited amount of time. Now, you're still able to recruit people through that new associate, even with limited time. And if somebody pops up who's not able to work the whole millionaire schedule right away, it's okay. Either they will over time, or even if they don't, the best thing you can do for that person is find people through them who can work the millionaire schedule. Now they can earn leverage passive income from the success, so they have a vested interest in still connecting you with people and recruiting, leveraging themselves. They can now profit from time that they don't have by leveraging themselves, and you can still find leaders or find core people that are ready to build and build a team and find the people that you're looking for. Is that helping? All right, anybody else?
This is Kamala Williams, and I joined the first session late, so I'm hopeful that that part is recorded as well. But I wanted to share what I did walk away with, which echoes Mr. Burton's comment about the 2 promises. And actually, I remember you training on it before, and I've started to use it, and I'm seeing how that does relax the situation and really maintain their friendship, which sometimes they kind of scurry away or ghost you when you start approaching them too aggressively. So then the second part of what I liked was, and kind of what Robin said, I literally in my LinkedIn profile have connector, and that's what I get great joy out of. Even if you don't ever technically ever need me again, if I've successfully connected you to your goals and dreams, that makes me smile. And what's funny is they do come back and reciprocate sometimes. So those are the 2 big things. I think a lot of the questions that I had as a part-timer, you've kind of already answered. So I think I'll just continue to soak in. My goal is really to find those core people. And so that's my big deal, how to be attractive enough to where they can see that it works. I work for a healthcare insurance company, and I know I was just working with one of my friends this morning, and she's ready to retire because we're all exhausted. And so, but I want the business to be attractive enough for them to see, this could be a plan B or a plan A when you exit. So I'll definitely soak in today. So thank you so much for providing this venue.
You're quite welcome. This is powerful. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit deeper and show you all how to multiply this, what it looks like when we start. Not only the first part was really about you getting into a rhythm, you leading by example, you developing the leader within you, which is why I recommend that book, Developing the Leader Within You 2.0 by John C. Maxwell. Start studying that, get your people to study that with you, even brand new people. From day one, I'm developing leaders. From day one, we are developing leaders. In fact, write this down in your notes, if you will. When you sponsor a brand new person, my job is to get you independent of me as fast as possible. My job is to get you independent of me as fast as possible. That is our job. You're franchising here. When somebody buys a franchise, you're buying a model so that you can replace yourself, so you can have other locations that work independently without you. That's the franchising concept. The term in network marketing is duplication, but that is a franchising term. Network marketing didn't make sense to me until I started seeing the similarities behind franchising and network marketing and thinking of my business like, what if I was building a franchise? There's 3 levels of franchise. Let me give you a couple leadership development concepts. There are 3 levels of franchising. Level 1 is the master franchisor. Master franchisor. That is the original. That's the person that starts the system, that proves it right. The job of a master franchise is to put a model in place and prove it to be profitable. Because it's not until you prove it to be profitable that you can now franchise it successfully to other franchisors. That's the second level. You got a master franchisor, and then he sells the system. She sells the system to franchisors who say, I want to own this system and I want to sell it to others. And that leads to the third level, which are the franchisees. Franchisees. This changed my world. And I never heard anybody put it like this. So the master franchisor proves the model. They sell it to franchisors, and then franchisors sell it to franchisees. So now there's a bunch of other franchises out there. So we've all seen this example in network marketing where it says there's you want to find your 5, and then you find your 25. Have y'all seen that before? Those are the 3 levels of duplication. Very, very important. In fact, to build solid wealth, you've got to have 3 levels of duplication. You're not done until you surpass 3 levels of duplication. Even if you're making great money you can make 6 figures on the second level or the first level. But if you don't have all 3 levels of duplication in place, it's not solid yet. This is what I want you to get in your mind. So